So now I'm on this video called 8 people with real superpowers captured on camera on from Mind Warehouse. I subscribe to it since I think its channels are quite good. I mean its videos are quite good. So let's open it and let's start.
Hello everyone. Many people
Let's just
really
skip
badly.
the
Other
first
people.
part.
Are you ready to meet these stars whose strange skills have been caught on camera? Then let's get it on.
Okay.
Jyoti Raj.
Oh my god, is this Spider-Man?
India has its own Spider-Man, but he prefers to be called the Monkey King. Jyoti Raj describes himself as a free solo climber. That means he conquers mountains without special equipment. No ropes, no protective gear, just his own strength and agility. Raj says that he's learned to climb by imitating monkeys. You heard us right, no special training, no artificial climbing walls or anything like that, just watching monkeys and trying to copy their behavior. Little by little, Raj grew famous. Tourists started recording videos of his performances and sharing them on YouTube. These
Spider-Man?
videos in which Raj performs very risky tricks made him very popular. There was even a rumor that Raj had been a monkey in his past life. How else would you explain the way that he risks his life? However, Raj has also suffered heavy falls, but the fractures have not stopped him. This climber has scaled Chitradurga Fort, conquered the Jog Falls, and climbed the clock tower at Morrisavir Math. By the way, he accomplished this last achievement in only
That
15
is
minutes.
Spider-Man.
Lewis Gordon Pugh. Can you imagine what it's like to
Wow. I guess just now that one really is kind of like a monkey mutation or something like that. I don't know, let's just see the second one.
swim in the incredibly cold waters of the North Pole? Lewis Gordon Pugh doesn't need to use his imagination. This British South African lawyer isn't affected by the cold, or so it seems, and that's partly true. For example, in 2007, he swam a
Okay, so this is the ad. Let's just forget. Okay,
1
skip.
kilometer stretch, spending 18 minutes and 50 seconds in the water at a temperature of nearly 2 degrees Celsius below zero. Pugh didn't wear any special suits, just a pair of swimming trunks, goggles, and a swimming cap. It should be noted that the temperature in the sea can be less than 0 degrees, because its freezing point is lower than that of fresh water. To perform this feat, Lewis had to undergo serious training to get his body used to the low temperatures. When a person is in cold water, they begin to breathe faster and make shorter movements. When swimming in low temperatures, you can suffocate or even end up at the bottom of the ocean. But Pugh's secret isn't just proper training. The swimmer survives thanks to anticipatory thermogenesis. It's a unique ability of the body to raise the temperature by about 2 degrees Celsius before going underwater. In other words,
that's
Pugh heats up just by looking at the cold water. It's believed to be a unique phenomenon. Scientists claim that it's the way his body is adapted to being constantly in the cold. However, Pugh doesn't share this view. He thinks that this is just the way his body reacts to fear, because every encounter with icy water is a challenge. Marilu Henner.
Oh my god, do you just saw that? If it's other people, right, I guess they will just freeze to death very fast. Okay, let's now look at the third one. I'm still curious about what it is gonna be.
American actress and producer Marilu Henner has starred in different films, series, and sitcoms. In addition, she actively promotes a healthy lifestyle and writes books on proper nutrition. But most importantly, Henner never forgets anything. Literally, the actress has been diagnosed with hyperthymesia, the ability to remember and reproduce a great deal of information about her own life. In other words, she has an exceptional autobiographical memory. There are not many people in the world with this ability. According to some reports, there are only 12 of them, including Henner. While the average person can remember 12 events per year, people with Henner's ability can remember more than 200 events. This has been confirmed by scientists after many tests. The actress claims that her memory looks like a series
Okay, forget about the ads. Let's just
of movie
quickly
clips. Henner
skip.
sees previews of memories that she can click on and seal the necessary details, but these previews also move. And ironically, the actress's husband makes a living with something that she doesn't need: calendars. Ed Viester.
Okay, so the third one basically is a woman with super long memories, something like mega long memory.
People who practice climbing at great heights are worthy of everyone's admiration. After all, it not only takes courage, but also great physical condition. However, Ed Viestos is truly talented. He is one of the most famous American mountaineers in the world, and the only one who's conquered all 14 mountains over 8,000 meters in the world. Most people need an extra source of oxygen to climb these peaks, but Viestos is one of 5 climbers who only use their own strength. By the way, he's climbed Everest 7 times. They say the reason is the volume of his lungs, which are much larger than those of ordinary people, almost 30% larger. Besides climbing, Viestos has repeatedly participated in rescue expeditions and helped other climbers. He's also written several books, starred in documentaries, and participated in the New York Marathon. Now the famous climber is a motivational speaker. Steve Ludwin.
So his lungs are basically larger than normal people's by 30%, which I think he will also be good at swimming.
Some people take vitamins to feel younger and healthier. Others play sports and lead healthy lives. But Steve Ludwin prefers snake venom. And this is not just a metaphor. He actually injects himself with snake venom on a regular basis. Surprisingly, the dangerous toxins protect Steve from all kinds of diseases, like colds, for example. In addition, the venom helps him feel younger. Although Steve is already in his 50s, the injections make him feel 30 years younger. But all this, of course, is no reason to follow his example. After 3 decades of experiments, Ludwin has developed an immunity to the venom. Steve is also committed to more important goals. For example, he poisons his body to help develop new, safer antidotes. Moreover, Steve admits that the injections cause him temporary swelling and bruising, as well as severe burning for a few minutes. One day, he almost lost his arm to his dangerous hobby, but he still thinks the risk is justified. Using the antibodies in Steve's blood, scientists at the University of Copenhagen plan to help thousands of people.
Wow, someone that's immune to snake venom. That's very impressive.
Milne. What do you picture when someone talks about superpowers? Probably lasers coming out from their eyes, regeneration, the ability to fly. But what about something more real and more useful, like predicting a disease by the smell? In the early 80s, the nurse Joy Milne started noticing an unusual smell coming from her husband. A few years later, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Milne didn't think of it too much at the time, but then when she began working with other patients with the same disease, she noticed that they all had that same unusual smell. Joy describes it as a musky odor. By chance, she told this to a group of scientists during a conversation, and they became interested in her story. To find out if the woman's abilities were real, she was put to a test. The researchers enrolled 6 people with Parkinson's disease and 6 people without it, asked each of them to wear a shirt throughout the day, and then bagged the clothes. Joy had to then smell each shirt and say which one belonged to a sick person and which one to a healthy person. And she did it. Joy found all 6 sick people, but insisted that one of the healthy people also suffered from this disease. A mistake? Not at all. 8 months later, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's as well. This disease is very difficult to diagnose at an early age, so Joy's ability is a real gift.
Wow, that's so cool. Able to smell viruses? Okay.
Stig Severinsen. Danish diver Stig Severinsen is a 4-time world freediving champion and holder of multiple Guinness World Records. In fact, he's known as the man who doesn't breathe, and for a good reason. Stig can hold his breath for 22 minutes. This is almost impossible because the main danger to the
skip this right now.
human body when holding your breath for too long is brain damage, and the longer the brain goes without oxygen, the more dangerous and irreversible the consequences can be. Stig, like other freedivers, practices yoga, a discipline that allows him to hold his breath without consequences for the body. Incidentally, Severinsen not only knows how to stay without oxygen for a long time, but also challenges himself in other ways. For example, he sits in a pool with sharks or swims under the ice without a wetsuit. Anyone else would probably suffer from cramps and drown, but not Stig. After one of his challenges, he told reporters that when doing this, he doesn't feel cold, he doesn't think about oxygen, and his whole body is focused on surviving. But even so, we don't recommend repeating Sverresson's feats, unless you've trained for several years. Ru Anting.
Okay, so he can hold his breath for like almost half an hour, which is, I don't think he's really a human or something.
Ru Anting from Luoyang, China is the last person in our list of talented people. This man can suck up water with his nose and then expel it through his tear ducts. At first glance, it might seem like a completely useless skill, and it is, but it's also pretty cool, right? Ru discovered his talent by accident. He sometimes swallowed water while swimming in the river, and then realized that he could expel it through his eyes. This happened in his childhood. His friends were obviously shocked. However, a long time passed between the moment he discovered his strange ability and world fame, more than 20 years. But it wasn't until the 1990s, when Ru lost his job at a local fertilizer factory, that he began to develop his unusual talent. Ru trained hard, and after 3 years, he was able to shoot water out of his eyes at a distance of 3 meters. Moreover, he can do it with such precision that he can blow out candles or write, yes, with his eyes. And you can really read the result if you speak Chinese, of course. Psst, dude, are you looking for new technologies and great gadgets?
Okay, I guess that's all for today's video, and I'm pretty surprised by all of the people who got the powers.